Hi, Angie here from mynexttablet.com. Today with an unboxing of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE and the Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus. Alright, let's start with the unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE and Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus. Both tablets are available in Europe, United States, and should be pretty much everywhere in the world now. Prices start at $449 in the US and 529 euros in the Eurozone. And we're starting with the smaller Galaxy Tab S9 FE, and you can see the tablet in the box first. It looks very similar to the standard Galaxy Tab S9, but here I've got in mint green. Then we have the S Pen inside the box, as well as the USB Type-C to Type-C cable, and there's no charger included, just like with the standard S9. Then we're getting an eject tool, either to put in a micro SD card or to put in a SIM card if you've got the 5G version, and then the standard paperwork, quick start guide, and warranty stuff. And basically the same with the bigger Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus. Inside the box is the tablet first. It looks very, very similar to the S9 Plus. Here I've got the silver version. And then we have the S Pen again, a USB-C to C cable, no charger, an eject tool, and the standard paperwork. And as usual, since I shot the first part of this video, a couple of hours have passed already, and I played PUBG Mobile, Genshin Impact, watched a bit of YouTube and Netflix, ran some benchmarks, and now I can tell you a bit more about the Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus, the bigger one, and the standard Galaxy Tab S9 FE, and we're starting with the design of the smaller S9 FE, which you can also see as the successor to the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite 2022 edition, a little bit more expensive successor. So we've got a 10.9-inch display here, black screen bezels, a 12 megapixel front-facing camera. The body is completely made of metal, and just like with the standard S9, it's protected against water and dust, and the certificate is IP68. We've got an 8 megapixel camera on the back, the Samsung logo. On the sides here, we've got a connector for a keyboard dock and keyboard cover. Then we've got a micro SD card slot. There's one speaker on this side and one speaker on this side. So there are only two speakers instead of four of the standard S9. Then we've got a USB Type-C port here, a volume rocker, and a power button. And inside the power button, you can see there's a fingerprint scanner built into it. It works pretty well. And of course, the placement is a bit different here, just like with the S7 and S8, but unlike the S9 series, because all the S9 tablets except the FE have a fingerprint scanner built underneath the screen here. And basically the design is exactly the same with the FE Plus. This is the successor to the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, of course. And the design is basically the same one as with the smaller version. Metal body, slim black screen bezels. In this case, the display has a size of 12.4 inches, 12 megapixel camera at the front, and on the back here we've got two 8 megapixel cameras. One is an ultra wide angle camera, and the same, including the fingerprint scanner, is the same again, and we also have the connector for the optional keyboard covers. Both tablets, by the way, are 6.5 millimeters thin and weigh 524 gram for the standard FE and 628 gram for the a bit bigger FE Plus. So much about their design. And now let's check out their displays. There's quite a big difference compared to the standard Galaxy Tab S9 series, but both displays are also better than the S6 Lite and the S7 FE. So Samsung has improved in terms of screen quality. Here with the smaller FE, we're getting a 10.9-inch display, and it has a resolution of 2304 by 1440 pixels. So the pixel density is still quite high, and the display does look quite sharp. And the same goes for the 12.4-inch FE Plus. Here we are having 2560 by 1600 pixels, and that also means the pixel density is very high and everything looks sharp, just like on the S7 FE, by the way. Now, both are LCDs, and that is the biggest difference compared to the standard S9 series, which have AMOLED displays. So with these LCDs, especially black levels don't look as black as on an AMOLED. In a dark room, it looks more like a dark black gray, but not like true black like on an AMOLED. That's not noticeable in day-to-day work that much, but when you're in a dark room, then you will certainly see a difference if you look out for it. Both are fully laminated screens, and both screens are pretty good overall, like we are used to from Samsung. Good viewing angles, good saturation, good colors. And what is new is that both support 90 Hz. We can quickly confirm that in the settings. And that is starting to be the case with mid-range tablets that they support more than 60 Hz. We're having the Xiaomi Redmi Pad SE with 90 Hz. Now the Galaxy Tab S9 FE series with 90 Hz, and there's a Lenovo Tab P11 Gen 2 with 120 Hz even. Of course, the Xiaomi Pad 6 series with 120 Hz. And yeah, now here you can see up to 90 Hz. And that means that animations, the S Pen, some games can look particularly smooth. And I like that we are starting to see 90 Hz displays. By the way, you can watch Netflix with HD quality on both tablets. However, since they are LCDs, they don't support HDR playback like the standard S9 series does. Now let's get to the S Pen. The S Pen is included, and that is something you should factor into your price comparisons, because Samsung always includes the S Pen if one is supported, while Apple and Microsoft, for instance, and often Lenovo do not. So Microsoft and Apple each charge about $100 extra, and that's just something to note and to factor into your price comparisons. I really like that Samsung includes them for free. They are completely made of plastic. They look almost identical to the standard S9 S Pen. They are also protected against water and dust with the IP68 standard, but there is a small difference. These S Pens don't have a battery, and that also means you never ever have to charge them, which is of course very nice, but it also means that a few gestures are not supported that the standard S9 series supports. For instance, you cannot use the S Pen as a remote in the camera app. But everything else, handwriting, drawings, the air commands, the Samsung Notes app, all of that is the same. And that basically means that the S Pen here seems to be as good as with the standard S9 series. Of course, I want to test it a bit more for my final review. But based on my first impressions, the S Pen for the S9 FE series is pretty much as good as with the standard S9 series, except for those few features that are missing that you need the battery for. But for handwritten notes, drawings, all of that, you don't need the battery anyways, and for that the S Pen is really good. Inside both tablets runs a Samsung Exynos 1380 processor, together with 6 or 8 GB RAM with the FE and 8 or 12 GB of RAM with the FE Plus, and both tablets you can get with 128 GB or 256 GB of internal storage, which is quite a lot because just a couple of years ago, mid-range tablet only had 32 or 64 GB of storage as the base storage. So it's nice that Samsung is bumping them up a bit, and you can get both tablets with 5G or LTE built in, which is also a nice option to have. And you can see my Geekbench 5 benchmark comparison here. This Exynos chipset is quite a bit slower than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor of the standard S9 series. It's also slower than the Galaxy Tab S8 and even a little bit slower than the Xiaomi Pad 6. However, they are also much faster than the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite 2020 edition, also faster than the S7 FE, and by the way, also faster than the Lenovo Tab P12, which is a direct competitor to the Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus. You can see me here playing PUBG Mobile on the Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus, and sadly you cannot select Ultra HD graphics and you cannot even select HDR settings, but only HD graphic settings, which is very low. Based on the benchmarks, I think it should be capable of playing PUBG Mobile with better graphic settings, so I'm guessing that PUBG Mobile is just not optimized for this Exynos chipset yet, and I think it will change in the future, but we will see for my final review. I think that because of benchmarks, it should support higher graphic settings, and also because you can see Genshin Impact here on the smaller S9 FE, and it runs pretty well with highest graphic settings, and yeah, really quite well. It gets really hot on the left side, but it runs really well. So it should be able to play PUBG Mobile with better graphics too. And yeah, I will try more games for my final review, of course, but it certainly does seem to be a good mid-range gaming tablet, also with this 90 Hz display, of course. Then let's look at the optional keyboard covers. Just like with the standard S9 series, you can choose between two different keyboards because they support exactly the same keyboards as the standard S9. So you can get the book cover keyboard Slim that you're seeing here with the S9 FE Plus. It's the keyboard cover with a built-in keyboard, works pretty well, but you can also get a book cover keyboard for both tablets, which is more like a typical keyboard cover, consists of two parts, has a built-in kickstand and a touchpad, a pretty good keyboard, and it works pretty well with both tablets. Like I said, they are the same keyboards as with the standard S9 series. Now let's get to the software on the Galaxy Tab S9 FE and FE Plus runs Android 13, and we can quickly confirm that in the settings here. And on top of Android 13 runs the One UI in version 5.1.1. So the software is exactly the same as on the standard S9 series, and you can see that it looks exactly the same. That also means that when we are in an app, you get the taskbar here at the bottom. We've seen that with Android 12L for the first time. And basically it's exactly the same software. It supports exactly the same air commands with the S Pen as the standard S9 series. You can use Samsung DeX as well. All those Google and Samsung apps are pre-installed. They're exactly the same. So the software is the same, except for a few differences. Like I said, those gestures for the S Pen are not supported. And I've read in the news that you cannot connect Samsung DeX to an external display, not via cable because the USB-C port doesn't support it, but also not wirelessly. So that are two differences. The wireless S Pen features and the wireless display feature are not supported by Samsung DeX or by the software here. But besides that, it's exactly the same as on the standard S9 series. So the software is really good, and that is one main reason, of course, why you would want to get the Galaxy Tab S9 FE or S9 FE Plus, because of Samsung's software features, because of the excellent software support from Samsung, because of the S Pen, because of Samsung Notes. That's why you might want to get the FE series, for example, instead of a Xiaomi Pad 6, which otherwise on paper sounds like a better deal as it's a bit cheaper. It has a 120 Hz display instead of 60 Hz. It has a bit more powerful processor, but Samsung has really good software, great S Pens, great optional keyboard covers. So that's what you get with the S9 FE, and that's my first impression of the S9 FE and FE Plus. The first impression is pretty good. We're getting pretty good mid-range tablets here. I really like that they're protected against water, that we get metal bodies here, that the same keyboard covers work, and that we get the pretty good, really excellent Android software with One UI that Samsung keeps up to date really long. And yeah, but to find out how it really compares to the standard Galaxy Tab S9 series, how it compares to the Xiaomi Pad 6, who should get a Galaxy Tab S9 FE or who should get a Xiaomi Pad 6, which is cheaper. For that, you should subscribe to this channel because I will have comparisons and reviews up pretty soon of these two tablets, the S9 FE and S9 FE Plus. If the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE is not premium tablet enough for you, but you also don't want to spend as much for the Galaxy Tab S9, then make sure to check out my review of the Lenovo Tab P11 Pro Gen 2. It's right in the middle between the S9 FE and the standard S9 with an OLED panel, 120 Hz display, and it's pretty much a flagship tablet that's just a bit cheaper than the Galaxy Tab S9 and a bit better than the S9 FE.